Today we're going to be taking a look at top-rated broadheads that you can find on Amazon. Lately, all we're reviewing are shotguns and archery stuff, and that's just because that stuff's awesome. First off, I am pretty new to archery. I bought a compound bow for myself and a recurve bow for my daughter, which I have reviews on both of those. I'll link those in the description. So eventually with my compound bow, I want to get into bow hunting. And so I started looking into broadheads, and holy that is a deep, deep rabbit hole. There are lots and lots of different broadheads. What I decided to do, go on to Amazon, get one of each of the three main types: fixed blade, removable blade, mechanical blade. That's what we're going to be looking at today. So I had some common variables that I wanted amongst these three just to make the comparison a bit more fair. First, I was looking only on Amazon. I was looking for broadheads that were top rated, only 4.5 or 5 stars. I wanted them to have a pretty large amount of ratings, looking for things that had 500 plus ratings, each of them 100 grain, also in the $30 to $40 range, and then come in packs of 3 or 4. Let's dive into what I bought. So for the removable blades, Muzzy 3 blade, this came in a pack of 4. Now they're only available in packs of 6, so maybe I got ripped off. I don't know. Let's take a look at these. I've shot one of these a couple times into my target, so you can see some of the scuff marks on there. So we're not going to be using that one. We're only going to be using fresh blades. The 6-pack is around $35. It has 4.5 star, 1,300 ratings. All the blades were in this little box. It comes with this little tool for assembly. It came with these blades, which I don't know if these are practice blades or something, but they're not actually sharp, and they don't have a tip on them like the rest. Put one together. It's pretty easy. It's got 3 channels in here. You put them kind of the wider end first. Slide them in. The last one is a little bit tight because it has to share the channels with the other 2 blades. And then once those are in, just screw on that chisel tip. And voila. For the fixed blade, I got the G5 Outdoors Montec. These were about $40, come in packs of 3, 4.5 stars, over 700 ratings. And then last, for the mechanical, I got the Rage Chisel Tip 2 with shock collars. Have to say, this came in the most aggressive packaging, so win some kind of prize for that. They come in packs of 3. There are 6 shock collars. These were about $35. They had 4.5 stars and 800 plus ratings. Let's see how sharp these things are and open these too. Let's just do a little paper test. Not too bad. Pretty sharp out the box. Now let's take a look at the Montec. Oh, blister packs. So much fun to open. Anything in here? Ooh, a sticker. Well, these are pretty cool looking. They come in a plastic protector for the threads. They don't feel as sharp as the Muzzies. They look like they would be. They look intense. And this probably isn't the best way to test this. And let's open these, the Rage Chisel Tips. Okay. Ooh. The sticker, always cool. And instructions on how to put the shock collars on. Let's try out the blades. Ooh. Yeah, those are crazy sharp. Let's get these mounted onto some arrow shafts, and then what we're gonna do is try firing them into what I have as a Field Logic black hole target to test out penetration. For the penetration test, we're gonna be mounting all of the broadheads onto these Carbon Storm shafts. Muzzies, which very straightforward once they're assembled. Montecs. So we will remove this little plastic. And then very straightforward. So there's these little hooks right there. I'm assuming that's what's going to go into the channels. So basically you tuck these in. It looks like those petals flare out a little bit once you have it fully tightened. Let's go try this in the target. So to test out the penetration of these arrows, we're going to be using my Diamond Infinity Edge Pro. This right now is set to a 55-pound draw weight. First, going to shoot into this black hole target. And then we're going to try some baby back ribs on the black hole target to see penetration through some bones. All right, let's jump into it. So this was Field Tip. This is the Muzzy. This is the G3 Montec. And then the Rage Chisel Tip 2. The Muzzy punched through this the most. Quick tip that I picked up from another archery video. If you have one of these block targets and you've shot some broadheads through it, instead of just trying to pull it through, just go ahead and remove that tip, and it makes pulling out the shaft so much easier. Had no problem going through. Kind of cut some bone. Had no problem getting through the meat and still punch through this. Let's see. Hit some bone and then still punch through. That's where this thing excels at. Look at that. I mean, that's a pretty big hole. That's from the Muzzy down here. That's a G3, but man, look at that split. There, and it did not punch through. Let's see if it actually expanded. So, it did expand, obviously. And I think these are still in good enough shape to eat. I'm gonna go barbecue these up. So let's see how the 3 different arrow tips fared after going through the rack of ribs. So none of them actually penetrated directly through a rib. They all nicked a bone. They all hit something. So the G3 Montec, I shot this twice into the rack of ribs. Really no scuffs on the blades. No dents. They're all still very, very straight. And so that one looks almost like it came out of the box after I cleaned all these up too, by the way. So the Muzzy, I also shot this one twice. So the Muzzy and the Montec, they both penetrated all the way through the rack of ribs and then through the black hole target. Some scuffs, which might just be from the black hole target. That stuff does tend to kind of get all over the arrow tips and the shaft, so that comes off pretty easy. But look at this one. Oh, indented pretty. Maybe it's salvageable. I don't know. These are pretty thin, so I might just end up replacing that. I mean, it did its job. It went through things, but it definitely got a little bit of damage. Let's look at the Rage. So this I only shot once because of the shock collar, and I didn't want to go through another shock collar. So it broke through that. It has the little scuff mark on the side of the arrows where presumably this part slammed down onto it when it broke through. But you can see both of those blades have a lot of like, this one's pretty beat up and it's not straight anymore. Actually, this one's pretty good. Yeah, that one's pretty clean. So it's really, this one must have impacted with a rib, more kind of dead on, versus this. Don't seem super durable. It probably does the job, right? If you're out there hunting. And also too, it could be the lowest recommended poundage for this is 55, which I have my bow at. Maybe at higher poundage, it would have more kind of just penetration. This was the only one, it went through the rack of ribs, but it did not penetrate all the way through the black hole target. And so again, that could be just because of what I have my bow set to. There you have it. A little bit of some stress tests on a few different broadheads. I mean, all of them held up. I think the G3 Montec probably held up the best. This was the only one on Amazon. Again, all of these were 4.5 stars or up. This was the only one that have 5 stars. It's pretty solid. And I will link them all in the description. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.